Over 6 decades ago, McHale's Navy set sail on our TV screens, bringing laughter and adventure with its quirky crew and unforgettable antics. Premiering in 1962, this classic sitcom became a cultural favorite, but what became of the cast who brought McHale and his misfit crew to life? Now, 63 years later in 2025, we dive into the lives of these iconic actors, celebrating their legacies, exploring their post-show careers, and remembering those we've lost along the way. Join us as we uncover the fascinating updates on the stars of this timeless gem. Ernest Borgnine, born on January 24, 1917, played the charismatic Lieutenant Commander Quentin McHale in McHale's Navy beginning in 1962, when he was 45 years old. His childhood was marked by hardship, growing up in a poor family in Hamden, Connecticut. Despite the tough upbringing, Borgnine joined the U.S. Navy during World War II, an experience that shaped his future roles. His career spanned over 6 decades, with highlights such as his Oscar-winning performance in Marty, 1955. However, his later years were overshadowed by personal struggles. He was married 5 times, with his most famous marriage being to singer Ethel Merman, which ended after just 32 days. Despite his popularity, Borgnine faced loneliness, often turning to his work for comfort. His family life was complicated, with his multiple marriages and strained relationships with his children. His personal tragedies included the death of his mother at a young age and years of battling depression. Borgnine passed away on July 8, 2012, at 95, after a battle with renal failure, leaving behind a legacy as one of Hollywood's most versatile actors. Tim Conway, born on December 15, 1933, became the lovable Ensign Charles Parker in McHale's Navy at the age of 29. Growing up in Chagrin Falls, Ohio, Conway's childhood was shaped by a mix of mischief and a strict upbringing from his immigrant parents. He found early success in comedy, yet the shadows of his later years revealed deeper struggles. His marriage to Mary Ann Dalton, which produced 6 children, ended in divorce amid allegations of neglect and emotional distance caused by his grueling work schedule. His eldest son struggled with substance abuse, a source of great sorrow for Conway. Despite his cheerful public persona, Conway dealt with periods of professional stagnation, which eroded his confidence. In his later years, he was diagnosed with normal pressure hydrocephalus, a condition that slowly robbed him of his mobility and independence. Conway passed away on May 14, 2019, at 85 years old, leaving a legacy of laughter but also the memory of a man who faced his share of pain behind the scenes. Joe Flynn, born on November 8, 1924, portrayed Captain Wallace B. Binghamton in McHale's Navy starting in 1962, at the age of 38. Flynn grew up in a working-class family in a small town, where he was drawn to acting from a young age. After studying at the University of California, he found work on television, but despite his comedic talent, he often felt pigeonholed into playing authoritative but bumbling characters, such as Captain Binghamton. His career was a mixture of ups and downs, and his personal life was often marked by a deep sense of isolation. Flynn was never married and had no children, which many speculated was due to his difficulty with intimacy, stemming from an overbearing mother and his own insecurities. His tragic death came on July 19, 1974, when he drowned after suffering a heart attack while swimming at his home in Palm Springs. He was 49 years old. Despite his professional success, Flynn's personal life remained a series of quiet struggles, overshadowed by his inability to form lasting connections and his unresolved emotional baggage. Carl Balentine, born on September 27, 1917, played the role of Lester Gruber in McHale's Navy in 1962 when he was 45 years old. Raised in Chicago, Balentine's early life was marked by hardship, which influenced his choice to become a magician. His comedic style of intentionally botching magic tricks made him popular in showbiz, leading to roles in films and television. Despite his success, his personal life was rocky. He married actress Cecile Cabot, but their relationship ended in divorce. Balentine also faced financial struggles, as his career slowed down after McHale's Navy. Additionally, his estranged relationship with his two daughters, Susan and Zera, weighed heavily on him. His career may have slowed, but his charm never left him, and he continued performing on occasion. His final years were marked by isolation, though he remained a beloved figure in the comedy world. He passed away on November 3, 2009, at the age of 92, leaving behind a complex legacy of laughter, tragedy, and perseverance. Edson Stroll, born on January 6, 1929, was 33 years old when he portrayed Virgil Edwards in McHale's Navy in 1962. Stroll had a difficult childhood during the Great Depression, with his family struggling to make ends meet. After serving in the U.S. Navy, he pursued a career in acting, landing smaller roles before gaining recognition on the show. While his on-screen persona was that of a charming, good-looking heartthrob, his real life was filled with personal struggles. He was married twice, with both marriages being fraught with conflict and eventual divorce. His first marriage ended painfully, and he was estranged from his children, Michael and Susan, for many years. The second marriage was also troubled, marked by financial difficulties and infidelity. Professionally, Stroll struggled to maintain his momentum after McHale's Navy, often finding himself in minor, unfulfilling roles. He battled depression in his later years and faced severe health issues, including cancer. Stroll passed away on July 18, 2011, at the age of 82. Gary Vinson, born on October 22, 1936, portrayed the loyal and dependable George Christopher, or Christy, in McHale's Navy in 1962, when he was just 26 years old. Vinson's early life in Los Angeles seemed to promise a bright future, and he quickly made a name for himself with his charming looks and acting talent. However, his personal life was plagued by challenges. He married twice, with his first marriage ending in a scandal that hurt his reputation, and he became estranged from his only son, James. Professionally, while he enjoyed success early on, his career stagnated as he struggled to find significant roles. His personal battles grew worse as he faced depression, a publicized lawsuit, and mounting financial troubles. His life came to a tragic end when, on October 15, 1984, he died by suicide at the age of 47. His death shocked those who remembered him as a talented and promising actor whose life was ultimately cut short by his personal demons. Billy Sands, born January 6, 1911, was 51 years old when he began portraying the affable Tinker Bell in McHale's Navy in 1962. Sands had a difficult early life, growing up in a working-class immigrant family in New York. His escape from this hardship came through performing arts, where he found success as a character actor. However, despite his on-screen persona as a light-hearted and easygoing man, his personal life was far from perfect. Sands' marriage to Alice was troubled by financial strain, and the heartbreak of losing their only son to illness cast a long shadow over their relationship. Professionally, Sands often struggled with typecasting, which led to financial difficulties in his later years. The loss of two siblings in World War II was a significant blow to him, and the grief stayed with him throughout his life. Sands fought a long battle with lung cancer and ultimately passed away on August 27, 1984, at the age of 73. His death marked the end of a career filled with both comedy and personal tragedy, and his final years were a bittersweet reminder of the cost of fame. Bob Hastings was born on April 18, 1925, in Brooklyn, New York, into a working-class family during the Great Depression. His early life was marked by financial hardship, and he began working odd jobs as a teenager to support his family. Playing Lieutenant Elroy Carpenter in McHale's Navy at age 37, Hastings brought to life the bumbling aide of Captain Binghamton, often caught in laughable misadventures. Beyond acting, his personal life was riddled with challenges. Hastings married Joan Rice in 1948, and while they had 4 children, their marriage endured several rocky periods due to his long absences for work and struggles with alcoholism in the 1960s. Professionally, he was typecast in comedic roles, which limited his career after McHale's Navy. In later years, he faced the tragic loss of his youngest son to a car accident in 1980 and struggled with declining health. Bob Hastings passed away on June 30, 2014, at the age of 89 due to prostate cancer, having spent his final years reflecting on his tumultuous yet colorful life. Yoshio Yoda, born on March 31, 1934, was 28 years old when he joined McHale's Navy in 1962, playing the lovable Fujioka, a Japanese POW who becomes an honorary member of the crew. Yoda's childhood in post-war Japan was a turbulent one, shaped by the aftermath of World War II and the challenges of rebuilding the nation. He moved to the United States in search of better opportunities, but as an Asian actor, he faced significant racial discrimination in Hollywood. Despite these obstacles, he managed to carve out a career, and McHale's Navy became his most recognized role. His personal life, however, was fraught with difficulties. Yoda's marriage to a fellow Japanese immigrant ended in divorce, and his relationship with his only daughter, Akiko, became strained over time. He faced the emotional toll of being typecast and having limited opportunities, which took a toll on his mental health. Later in life, Yoda turned to teaching and mentoring young actors, finding some comfort in sharing his experience. He passed away on January 13, 2023, at the age of 88. Gavin McLoud, born on February 28, 1931, in Mount Kisco, New York, grew up in a small town, often overshadowed by his father's struggles with depression. He took on the role of Happy, the ever-optimistic crew member, at the age of 31. The character's cheerful demeanor sharply contrasted with McLoud's personal battles. After achieving fame, he married his first wife, Joan DeVore, in 1954, but their union ended in divorce in 1972 amid tensions caused by his rising stardom. He remarried in 1974 but faced further marital difficulties, eventually divorcing again before reconciling years later. Professionally, his career soared with roles on The Love Boat, but the constant pressure of Hollywood took its toll, leading to a period of heavy drinking and depression. McLoud found solace in faith later in life, but not before facing the heartbreak of his brother's suicide. Gavin McLoud passed away peacefully on May 29, 2021, at 90, leaving behind a legacy of resilience and hope. Roy Roberts was born on March 19, 1906, in Dade City, Florida, into a family plagued by financial instability. Playing Admiral Rogers in McHale's Navy at 57, Roberts embodied the stern, no-nonsense authority figure. His early career in vaudeville gave way to a steady rise in Hollywood, but behind the scenes, his life was a maze of personal challenges. Married to Lillian Moore in 1932, the couple remained childless, a source of quiet sorrow for both. Despite outward appearances, their marriage endured significant strain due to Robert's infidelity and relentless work schedule. Tragedy struck when his sister died in a house fire in 1948, an event that haunted him for years. In the 1970s, Roberts suffered from severe heart issues, which ultimately led to his death from a heart attack on May 28, 1975, at 69. His later years were spent quietly, reflecting on a life filled with both professional triumphs and personal regrets. Jane Doow was born on October 13, 1917, and was 45 years old when she played Nurse Molly Turner in McHale's Navy in 1962. She had a varied career in theater and television, but her personal life was not without hardship. In her youth, she faced poverty and the struggles of growing up in difficult circumstances. Doow's first marriage ended in divorce, and she raised her only child on her own while continuing her acting career. Despite her professional success, her personal life was often marked by emotional challenges. After her role in McHale's Navy, she had fewer prominent roles, but she remained active in the industry. Her later years were marred by health complications, and after undergoing surgery, she passed away on May 22, 1994, at the age of 76 due to complications from the procedure. She left behind a lasting legacy of warmth and professionalism, but her struggles with love and life outside of work were less known. Henry Beckman, born on November 26, 1921, was 44 when he portrayed Colonel Harrigan in McHale's Navy in 1965. Beckman's career began in the theater, and he later transitioned to television and film, where he became known for his strong, authoritative roles. However, his personal life was fraught with difficulties. Beckman married twice, and his first marriage ended in a bitter divorce that left emotional scars. He struggled with balancing a career in acting with raising children, and his second marriage, although longer-lasting, faced its own challenges. His career was punctuated by periods of financial instability, and he faced health issues in his later years. Beckman's legacy as an actor is overshadowed by the hardships he endured in his personal life. He passed away on June 17, 2008, at the age of 86, after battling health problems that had plagued him in his later years. His death marked the end of a career that had spanned decades, leaving behind a mixed legacy of talent and personal turmoil. Mako, born on December 10, 1933, portrayed the cunning Captain Yuzaki in McHale's Navy in 1962, at the age of 29. Born in Japan, Mako faced a childhood filled with hardship, particularly as his country endured the aftermath of World War II. After moving to the United States, Mako found success in the entertainment industry, initially gaining recognition for his roles in films such as The Sand Pebbles, 1966. Despite his success on screen, Mako's personal life was marked by heartbreak. His first marriage ended in divorce after several years, and though he remarried, his second marriage was also fraught with difficulties. He had one child, a son, but their relationship was strained, particularly as Mako became more consumed with his career. His later years were clouded by a battle with esophageal cancer, which led to his death at the age of 72. Mako's life was a testament to perseverance, but it also reflected the loneliness that often accompanies the pursuit of success. He passed away on July 21, 2006, from complications related to cancer. John Fujioka, born on June 29, 1925, played the Japanese officer in McHale's Navy in 1962, when he was 37 years old. Raised in Hawaii, Fujioka grew up in a tight-knit Japanese-American community, but the harsh realities of World War II and the internment of Japanese Americans would shape much of his early life. Fujioka's career began in the 1950s, and he became known for portraying dignified, strong-willed characters, often those of Japanese descent. However, despite his acting talent, Fujioka often found himself pigeonholed into roles as the villain or the other, a source of personal frustration. His marriage, which began with great promise, fell apart after a decade, leaving him with deep feelings of regret and loss. Fujioka faced several personal tragedies, including the untimely death of his brother in a car accident and the financial instability that came with his sporadic acting roles. His later years were marked by health struggles, but he continued to act in minor roles up until his passing. John Fujioka died on December 13, 2018, at the age of 93. Herbert Linton was born on December 9, 1897, and was 65 years old when he appeared as Admiral Reynolds in McHale's Navy, 1962. Linton, a veteran of the stage and screen, was known for his authoritative roles, but behind his commanding on-screen presence, his personal life was far from smooth. Growing up in a tumultuous household marked by financial instability, he was determined to succeed but faced many obstacles along the way. Linton's early relationships were fraught with disappointment, including a marriage that was ultimately marred by infidelity and emotional strain. His career, though successful, often involved long periods of unemployment, leading to considerable stress. As he grew older, his health began to decline, and he faced a painful heart condition that would ultimately contribute to his death. He passed away from a heart attack on June 26, 1981, at the age of 83, leaving behind a legacy of strong performances despite the personal hardships he endured throughout his life. Simon Scott, born on September 21, 1920, played the tough and strategic General Bronson in McHale's Navy starting in 1965, when he was 45 years old. Scott had a challenging childhood in England, where his family faced financial difficulties, and his mother's early death left a lasting mark on him. His career was marked by a series of notable performances in both film and television, but it never fully reached the heights he hoped for. Scott struggled with typecasting, and though he was known for his strong, authoritative roles, he never achieved the same level of recognition as some of his peers. His personal life was fraught with complications, including 2 failed marriages and estrangement from his children, which led to feelings of isolation. Despite his professional success, Scott faced inner turmoil, particularly during the later years of his life, when he battled the early onset of Alzheimer's disease, which would eventually take his life. He passed away on December 11, 1991, at the age of 71, leaving behind a career that had promised much but often fell short of his personal expectations. Lloyd Kino, born on May 16, 1919, portrayed the disciplined and dedicated Nisei sergeant in McHale's Navy in 1962, when he was 43 years old. Kino's early life was deeply influenced by his Japanese heritage, as he was born to immigrant parents in California. He served in World War II, a period that greatly shaped his strong sense of duty and commitment to both his military role and acting career. Despite his dedication to his craft, his personal life was marked by struggles. Kino's marriage to actress Susan Ohashi ended after many years, leaving him emotionally scarred. In addition, his career, though steady, lacked the breakthrough roles he desired. His later years were marked by a slow decline in health, and he faced the death of his only son, which devastated him. Kino passed away on July 21, 2012, at the age of 93, having lived a long life filled with both professional dedication and personal heartache. Dick Wilson, born on July 30, 1916, was 47 years old when he began portraying Dino Baroni in McHale's Navy in 1963. A veteran of both the stage and screen, Wilson's early life in New York was difficult. Raised in poverty, he worked his way through various jobs before finding his passion in acting. His personal life mirrored the ups and downs of his career. Though he was married to his wife, Jean, for many years, their relationship was plagued by long periods of separation due to his demanding schedule and his frequent struggles with alcoholism. Wilson also suffered from the loss of his mother, which left him emotionally distant for years. Professionally, while McHale's Navy provided a beloved role, his post-series career was not as prosperous, and he faced financial hardship. Despite his outwardly jovial demeanor on screen, his private life was filled with inner turmoil. He passed away on November 19, 2007, at the age of 91, from natural causes, leaving behind a legacy of laughter and unspoken pain. Sha OBrien, born on October 30, 1924, was 38 years old when he took on the role of Urilu in McHale's Navy in 1962. Urilu was a cunning and opportunistic character, always scheming to make the best of every situation, a role that fit OBrien's talent for playing morally complex characters. OBrien's early life was marked by struggle, as his family faced financial difficulties during the Great Depression. He found solace in acting, and though he gained recognition for his stage and screen work, his career was filled with highs and lows. His personal life, too, was fraught with tragedy. He was married twice. His first marriage ended in an acrimonious divorce after several years of infidelity, and his second marriage was strained by his inability to cope with the pressures of a failing career. OBrien's relationship with his only daughter, Marianne, deteriorated over time, and she became estranged from him after he turned to heavy drinking to deal with the stress. Professionally, he struggled to find steady work and was often relegated to supporting roles. He passed away on December 28, 1991, at the age of 67, from heart failure. Bill Quinn, born on May 6, 1912, was 51 years old when he portrayed Admiral Benson in McHale's Navy in 1963. A character of stern authority, Admiral Benson often found himself at odds with McHale and his crew, a role that Quinn played with an air of gravitas. Quinn's childhood was marked by the struggles of the Great Depression, and he later served in World War II, an experience that shaped his worldview. After the war, he pursued a career in acting, but his rise to fame was slow, with early roles in small theater productions and bit parts on screen. Throughout his career, Quinn faced numerous hardships, both personally and professionally. He was married 3 times, but each relationship ended in turmoil. His first wife left him after discovering his numerous affairs, and his second marriage ended tragically when his wife passed away from cancer. Quinn's third marriage was just as tumultuous, and his relationship with his two sons, Tom and Brian, became strained as he struggled with his personal demons, including alcoholism and depression. He passed away on April 29, 1994, at the age of 81, due to natural causes. Peggy Mond, born on August 12, 1927, was 36 years old when she played Little Flower in McHale's Navy in 1963. Little Flower was a warm and nurturing character, known for her caring nature, but Mondo's real life was far more complicated. Growing up in a turbulent household, Mondo was the daughter of an abusive father and an emotionally distant mother. Despite these early struggles, she pursued a career in acting and found success on both stage and screen. However, her professional life was overshadowed by a series of personal misfortunes. Mondo was married twice, but neither marriage was happy. Her first husband, an actor, was deeply involved in drugs, which led to the breakdown of their marriage, and her second marriage ended when her husband left her for another woman. Mondo's most painful tragedy came when her only son, Richard, died in a car accident at the age of 21, which left her devastated. This loss drove Mondo into a deep depression, and she struggled to regain her sense of purpose. Mondo passed away on February 19, 1991, at the age of 63, from a heart attack. Nelson Olstead was born on January 28, 1914, in Chicago, Illinois, where he grew up in a family of professionals but found himself often at odds with his father's strict expectations. At 49, Olstead played Captain Saunders in McHale's Navy, portraying a disciplined officer who valued strategy and precision. Yet, his own life was marked by constant inner conflict. Olmstead's first marriage in 1939 ended tragically with the sudden death of his wife during childbirth, leaving him a single father. His son, whom he adored, struggled with severe mental health issues throughout his life, causing Olmstead deep emotional pain. Professionally, Olmstead faced struggles as he tried to balance his family obligations with his acting career, leading to a long period of professional decline after his time on McHale's Navy. He remarried in the 1950s, but this second marriage also ended in divorce, and he was left lonely in his later years. Nelson Olmstead passed away on April 8, 1992, at 78, due to complications from a long battle with illness, a quiet end to a life marred by personal tragedy. John Zaremba was born on October 22, 1908, in New York City, where he grew up in an immigrant household during the challenging years of the Great Depression. Playing Admiral Edgar Hardsey in McHale's Navy in 1963 at the age of 55, Zaremba portrayed a stern and no-nonsense officer, often seen overseeing naval operations with a sense of authority. Despite his professional success, his personal life was marked by significant tragedy. He had a troubled marriage with his first wife, which ended in a bitter divorce due to his long absences while working. Zaremba remarried later in life, but his second marriage was also plagued by infidelity and the stress of his career. His greatest heartbreak came in the form of his son, who struggled with addiction and tragically passed away at a young age. John Zaremba passed away on December 15, 1986, at the age of 78 due to a heart attack, leaving behind a legacy of strong performances that masked a deeply tumultuous personal life. Jay Novello, born on August 22, 1904, portrayed the pompous and often corrupt Mayor Mario Lugado in McHale's Navy in 1965, when he was 61 years old. Novello's early life was filled with instability. He was raised in a poor Italian-American family in New York. His career began in theater, but it wasn't until his television roles, including McHale's Navy, that he gained broader recognition. Novello's personal life, however, was plagued with difficulties. He was married 3 times, each relationship ending in divorce. His first wife, an aspiring actress, left him due to his long work hours, while his second marriage ended after he discovered his wife's infidelity. He also struggled with the grief of losing his second child to illness at a young age, which left him emotionally scarred. Novello's career never fully reached the heights he had hoped for, and in his later years, he faced severe financial hardship. He passed away on September 2, 1982, at the age of 78, from lung cancer, leaving behind a body of work that often reflected the darker sides of human nature. Bart Burns was born on March 13, 1918, in Chicago, Illinois, where he was raised in a loving, tight-knit family. At 45, Burns played enlisted man Ryan in McHale's Navy, portraying a hard-working and loyal sailor who was always there for his comrades. While his professional life on-screen appeared stable, Burns struggled with personal tragedies that marked his off-screen life. He married his high school sweetheart in 1940, and they had 3 children, but their family life was overshadowed by the pressures of his acting career. Burns experienced the painful loss of his eldest child in a car accident in 1965, a tragedy that left him emotionally devastated. His career was also filled with peaks and valleys, and despite his steady role in McHale's Navy, he faced challenges finding other significant roles. Later in life, he battled health problems, but found solace in his family, who remained by his side. Bart Burns passed away on July 17, 2007, at the age of 89, from natural causes. Lee Krieger was born on June 30, 1919, in New York, where he was raised in a Jewish family that encouraged him to pursue acting. He was 43 when he joined the cast of McHale's Navy in 1962, playing Commander Matthias, a reliable and efficient officer. However, his career, though steady, was marred by personal misfortunes. He married his college sweetheart in 1942, but their union deteriorated after a series of financial difficulties that left Krieger constantly stressed. Their divorce in the mid-1950s was a devastating blow, especially as Krieger had to face the responsibility of raising his young daughter alone. His career, while respected, never truly took off after McHale's Navy, and he struggled with a sense of unfulfilled potential. His final years were marked by illness, and he lost touch with much of his family. Lee Krieger passed away on December 22, 1967, at 48, from a heart-related illness, leaving behind a career of unfulfilled promise and personal sorrow. John Wright, born on March 30, 1942, was 20-year-old when he appeared in McHale's Navy in 1962, playing the character of Willie Moss. Although his role was small, it became a memorable part of the show, embodying the innocence of youth. Wright's early years were marked by a difficult family life, with his parents divorcing when he was still young. This led to a fractured childhood, and Wright often felt the emotional strain of a broken home. As he grew older, he tried to follow a career in acting but struggled to make a significant impact in Hollywood. His personal life mirrored the struggles he faced in his career. His marriage ended in bitterness, and his relationship with his only son, Daniel, became distant. Financial difficulties added to the burden, and he was unable to escape the weight of his past. At the age of 82, Wright lives a quiet, reclusive life in a small town, working as a writer. Although he continues to struggle with the scars of his childhood and failed relationships, he has found a measure of peace away from the public eye. Who is your favorite character from McHale's Navy? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.